High school sports, where the student athletes of today are forged into men and women of tomorrow. Join our Chippewa Valley Big Reds and Dakota Cougars on their journey towards building their skills and identities, learning to endure through struggles and setbacks, discovering the camaraderie of working together as a team, and feeling the unparalleled rush of achieving greatness on the field. Welcome to CVC Sports.
Today we turned our calendars to November, the year's penultimate month. For 256 high school football teams in the state of Michigan, it feels more like New Year's Day. A brand new season is underway, the postseason. Win or go home. The road to Ford Field begins tonight. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to a very special Chippewa Valley Cable Television production. I'm Brad Fetters, joined by Jeff Vitale as we get you set for tonight's MHSAA District Semifinal game between the Utica Chieftains and our Dakota Cougars. Dakota won the opening coin toss. They deferred to the second half. Jeff, away we go.
Wow, that opening was your best one of the season. You guys can't see it in the booth right now, but my hair is standing up. I got goosebumps. That was phenomenal, Brad. Well, the first time these two teams met, Brad, it was 35-0 Dakota. It was the week after the Eisenhower loss. They were pretty good and angry. If you're the Utica Chieftains here, I'm going to kind of take you back. Since we've honored the 1999 team already, I'm going to take you back to when that 1999 team had to play Chippewa Valley in the second go-around that season. We knew going into that game that they had beaten us handily, and if we did the same kind of things, that it was going to be the same result. So that week of practice changed up our whole offense and defense and went out to a 21-0 lead before we finally won the game in overtime. So if you're the Utica Chieftains tonight, Brad, you can't come out with the same game plan. You literally gotta throw, the proverbial kitchen sink at them. Hold no trick plays back, nothing in the bag. You let it all rip and you let the cards fall where they may.
That was a Week 8 game between these two teams, 35-0 the final score. In that one, Utica finished the regular season 4-5, 2-3 in the MAC White. They were one of the last teams to get into the MHSAA playoffs. In fact, they are ranked in terms of playoff points 31 of 32. They had to win 2 of their last 3 regular season games in order to qualify. As the very first play of this football game goes straight ahead for nothing. Bottled up at the line of scrimmage and driven down. Second down, 10 to go. This Chieftain offense averages just over 19 points per game. They're coming off a 31-21 victory over Warren Cousino a week ago. Mati Gawili ended up with 4 touchdowns in that football game from the tailback position. 22 carries for 175 yards. The Gawili family, predominant in Utica football. His older brother ended up going to Central Michigan University. He wears number 2 in white for the Chieftains.
Well, they went right up the middle and up against that teeth of the defense there, which is not going to go well for the Chieftains. You got to try to get this team out wide, and fumble snap, that's not going to help you either.
They do make a little bit out of nothing there. Will pick up 2 yards out to the 22-yard line. Aiden Lindsay making the stop there defensively for the Cougars.
You know, this is a game, Brad, for the Chieftains where you almost got to play a perfect game. You can't have any turnovers. You know, you got to move the chains. You got to try to keep this Dakota offense off the field as long as you possibly can. And when you get in the red zone, you got to cash in, and that means 7s, not 3s. And if you can do those things, you're going to have a good chance tonight. If you can't do those things, it's going to be a tough night for you.
Johnny Heigl under center. The sophomore has a little bit of an issue there, handing the football off to Gawilly. Willie's going to turn the corner. He's got himself a first down as he tiptoes down that sideline. Arnez Sanders finally pushed him out of bounds. That will give their Chieftains their first down of this football game.
Yeah, that's not going to make Coach Bauer happy. They got the perimeter there, did some nice job sealing up those blocks there on the edge. And Gwilly got the edge there, and he was off to the races getting that first down before finally shoved out of bounds, but well past the markers as the Chieftains finally get a handoff. Still had a little bobble with that handoff as well, but Gwilly was able to get the corner, Brad, and turn it into a first down.
Dakota coming off a 28-0 win over Oxford a week ago, back-to-back defensive shutout. To include that 35-0 win over Utica. Just 8 points per game given up defensively. It is the best in the Macomb area conference. Gwilly bottled up, brought down short of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that
Loss
was Chase,
of 2.
That was Chase Christian, actually, and you want to guess who was in on the tackle?
Brady Hamby.
The Macomb County Energizer Bunny, as we like to refer to him. Actually, I kind of coined that one. I got the copyright issues on that, so don't call him that. You owe me some cash.
Brady Hamby coming off a 12-tackle performance a week ago against Oxford. As good as advertised. The Ferris State Bulldogs are getting an extremely good football player in the form of Brady Hamby.
Well, no, you got to bring up much Grand Valley this week, Brad. It was a tough week for the Lakers.
Yeah, they absolutely got throttled by Ferris State in that Anchorbone Classic football game. We won't talk about the outcome. We'll get a pre-snap penalty called here against the Chieftains. It will be a false start.
Yeah, these are things you can't do, especially after on first down you lose 2 yards and now you go backwards 5 more. 2nd and 17 against this team when, you know, Coach Bauer has all kinds of these dynamic blitzes and packages, and of course you got number 8. And if you somehow get by number 8, you got number 10 floating around there. So there's really nowhere to go. And if those two don't get you, Elijah Goings is probably going to get you.
Logan Kreitzer has been phenomenal as well. 2.5 sacks last week in a 6-sack total football game for the defense last week against Oxford. That was Damari Malone in on the stop.
Yeah, he didn't make the tackle, but Tyler Torrey blew that play up. He had his offensive lineman 3-4 yards in the backfield. He had to shift and change directions, and by that point in time, the cleanup crew came in. It was game over, and now you're looking at 3rd and long for Utica. This is where, if you're in a lot of these 3rd and long situations tonight, it is not going to be a good night for the Chieftains. You really got to keep yourself in manageable situations, and right now, they're going the wrong direction.
3rd and 20 upcoming for Utica. Heigl will bring the Chieftains up to the line of scrimmage. 3 wide receiver set. Brings over a man in motion. That's Gawilly. Going to take the handoff as he gave Matt Yazak.
Yeah, Emilio Lynch was in there. Damari Malone was in there. I mean, you're running in the teeth of that defense straight up the middle. That defensive line is so big and strong. You know, get going straight up the middle is not going to help you here. And now you're going to punt the ball away and give the Cougars a chance to get on the board first.
So Jack Aronowski and Dylan Beetleshe's deep here for the Cougars. Toes on the 50-yard line, so Dakota will get terrific starting field position. A little bit of a rugby-style kick. It's actually going to be Aronowski on the outside, taking it across the 40 to the 39-yard line. That's where Dakota will put the football in play on their opening drive of this football game.
But as we go through the playoffs, Brad, you may notice that a lot of sidelines have a lot of extra people on them. You know, a lot of the teams bring up a lot of junior varsity kids. Well, in Dakota's case, they not only brought some junior varsity kids, but they brought up a bunch of freshmen as well. So many that they don't even have enough jerseys. So those guys are down in street clothes on the sidelines right now, but they get to practice, and it's a great experience working with these guys throughout the week as they start to develop to become future varsity Cougars.
Well, there's multiple numbers on a roster as well, and you oftentimes see that at the collegiate level, and it is a penalty if both of the same numbers are on the football field at the same time. Hamby's going to take the handoff. Hamby straight ahead, plows over a defender. Going to be marked just short of the first down, but picks up 8 on the opening carry of the football game.
Well, this kid just does not tire, does he? So, yeah, so the first number 22, Brad, is just checked into the game, all right? That is Jeremiah Aaron. You're also going to see another 22 come into the game later. He doesn't have a name on the back, and that is Andrew Rivera. This kid rushed for 965 yards in only 8 games at the freshman level. He didn't even play at tailback the first game.
Ford rolled out, took a bit of a lick, delivered a ball that wasn't caught, falls incomplete, and will bring up a 3rd down and shorts.
Jaden was absolutely outstanding last week in the win over Oxford. Very impressive win. You're talking about a team that was in first in the OAA in their division, and Dakota went in and beat them 20-0. He threw 2 touchdowns, commanded the offense as he does always, but was pinpoint with his passes. Threw a nice long touchdown pass to Chase Thornton. And they were just on cruise control.
Yeah, Ford finished with 187 yards in that football game. Thornton had 104 through the air, and they'll go right back to Hamby. Spin through the first defender, finally brought down. Picks up the first down out to the 28-yard line.
I mean, it's astonishing to watch how this kid just plays. I mean, he's at tailback, he's a middle linebacker. It's not like it's not like he's at positions where he can take plays off, Brad. I mean, he is constantly moving his feet throughout the game. And that, of course, that's why we refer to him as the Energizer Bunny. We got a flag.
Perhaps a illegal substitution. Dakota was rushing players off the football field.
But they weren't in a set position. Usually there's no huddle. That's what kind of happens. That's what Coach Bauer is asking for right now.
And I don't even have an 84 on our roster. It's one of the few numbers not being used by Dakota. So they'll move the football back to the 33 after the penalty.
If you called 84, you'd not be able to mark your bingo card. It does not exist on our roster.
So 215 yards rushing is this time. It'll be Jeremiah Aaron, the backup tight tailback. So 215 yards rushing a week ago against Oxford. That is the 3rd straight football game that Dakota has gone over 180 yards. It has been impressive, to say the least.
Well, you're talking about the impressive streak of them making the playoffs, and you know, at this time of the year, you know, teams that are strictly a throwing team struggle a little bit because, you know, this time of year you got to be able to run the football and you got to be able to balance your attack. And one thing the Cougars do very well behind that big offensive line, as you see, is run the football.
And we will talk about that playoff streak and the importance of it and where it stands in terms of the historical context, as this is Damari Malone, comes to the near side, stays in bounds. And they're going to mark him just past the first down markers at the 17-yard line. So Malone for 5 yards gives the Cougars a new set of downs, as Dakota is now inside the red zone.
Yeah, a little jet sweep there. He almost got caught, but he did a little hesitation move and was able to get the corner. And once he gets the corner at that size and speed, he's almost impossible to bring down. He tried to cut back, but stepped out of bounds. And Cougars are in business now inside the red zone.
Dakota on the right hash. They bring Malone over in motion. Now they will bring Elijah Goings as well. Goings takes the handoff. Goings around the edge out to the 15. Takes a bit of a lick there. Good open field tackle made by Jake Barge. Jake Barge had 8 tackles a week ago in that win over Cousinham.
Yeah, it was a nice job there by Barge to get over there and make that tackle. Goings gets that corner, he's gone. Nice job of keeping him just to a 2-yard gain here, 2nd and long for the Cougars. Got to dial up something here to slow this running game down. Bring some kind of a blitz, something. Got to put this team in the 3rd and long if you're going to try to get off the field here with a field goal or less.
Little 3-4 look defensively. And handoff back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more for Jeremiah Aaron.
Yeah, Aiden Bayshaw there on the tackle. Nice job there.
Down by number 36, Carter Zapsky.
I was looking at the Dakota roster.
3rd down, 8 to go upcoming for Dakota.
Carter Zapsky with the tackle. Sophomore linebacker. He's a big sophomore. Look at the size of that kid. Little neck brace, but got some good sized arms there. He made a nice tackle there. And again, putting Dakota in that 3rd and long, which is what the Chieftains need.
Carter has already visited Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan. Ford's going to roll out and going to get sacked.
Yeah.
Gawilly back at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he delayed blitz there a little bit. And as soon as that seam opened up, he darted right through with his speed, and he blew right through. Jaden Ford could not get out of the way. Makes a nice open field tackle. Big stand there by the defense, because now you're going to force the Cougars into a 42-yard field goal, which is not a gimme. And there he comes. Just makes a great tackle there.
Aronowski has hit from 46 this season, but Jeff, the kicking game has not been good for the Cougars this season. Just 2 of 9 on the season. 42-yard field goal upcoming out of the hold of Landon Mitchelson. The kick is good. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective.
Hey, he got some height on it. Looked like it was going to be a little short. Just cleared the crossbar. But a big 42-yard field goal puts the Cougars on the board first. And again, when you're talking about a playoff game, what you want to do is make sure you have that other team chase you. So 3 points is big for the Cougars, but kind of a little bit of a moral victory. They were inside the red zone, really plowing the ball down the field. Utica makes a stand and holds the Cougars to a field goal. Now we'll see how the Chieftains respond on their 2nd possession of the ball game coming.
And don't forget the Cougars got terrific starting field position after the punt. They took over at the Utica 39-yard line, just pick up 14 yards of total offense before settling on a 42-yard Aronowski field goal.
You know, it's just crazy how it is. We say it all the time, but it is tough to play a team twice in a season, and especially in a 2-week span, Brad. And you know, you got to throw some wrinkles at them. You can't take them for granted. You can't come back. You can't come into this week going, hey, you know, we beat these guys 35-0. This is going to be easy. This is the playoffs. Everybody's 0-0 right now, and for some teams it's new life. And you know, the scariest thing is that second chance sometimes. Line drive into the end zone.
So back to the drawing board offensively now for Utica after the touchback. 3:18 left to go in the first quarter.
You know, in that first series, they were successful trying to get the edge, and I think that's where you're going to have a chance, because you're trying to run up the middle right into the teeth of that defense, along with Hamby and Malone. It's not going to go good for you.
This is a pretty senior-laden offensive line. They're going to have to be the difference maker. They're going to have to hold up here tonight if the Utica Chieftains hope to pull off the upset in the opening round of the MHSAA playoffs. Gawilly on the jet sweep. Look out.
Look at the move.
One-on-one on the outside. Picks up the first down. It looked like a little bit of confusion there defensively for the Cougars as Arnaz Sanders finally made the tackle. But Gawilly picks up 12.
Yeah, I couldn't see who came up first there to make the tackle. He put a nice little juke move on that guy, and then he was off to the races. Is that 20?
So the second first down of this football game offensively for Utica.
Yeah, it might have been Dominic Van Vliet. Dom came up to make the play, but he put a nice little move on him, and nice little play there for Utica.
Willie again cuts upfield, across the 35 to the 36. 2nd down and 6 upcoming for the Chieftains.
This is the old Navy offense. The old Army runs it, the old split veer. So what they when that back motion's behind the fullback like they do, you could have a toss out of it, but what sometimes happens is triple option there, and they're reading that defensive end. But what happens is if you're really well coached on it, you have that defensive end come straight up the field, and he gives it, you're running right in the hands of Hamby and Malone. That's what happened there. Still a good game, though. He got 4 yards.
Another hard charging play. Matt Yazak brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was just a straight dive, and no one got to number 10, and he made an easy play coming from his linebacker spot to drop him for a loss. 3rd and 7.
Loses 2. Malone. There defensively for Dakota. This Chieftain team, you kind of get the sense that they are trying to shorten this football game as much as they can, using a lot of the play clock, which chews up a lot of that game clock, trying to shorten the game. They know they probably can't compete head-to-head against Dakota. They're going to have to come up with some turnovers, perhaps defensively, maybe a big special teams play. Here on 3rd down, they're going to try to pass for it, and they're going to get sacked.
Logan Kreitzer. He's number 84.
Picking up where he left off a week ago.
So we don't know how he got the number switched, but again, remember a few weeks back, we saw Mom holding the free 84 assignment. We couldn't figure it out. And our last regular season broadcast, it took us a while to figure out who 84 was, and there he is on a beautiful sack. I can't imagine how frustrating it got to be for an offensive line to try to block this defensive line. It's insane, how good this defensive line is.
Low snap, able to bring it up. The punt is away, fielded at the 50. Jack Aronowski.
Laundry flying in.
Picks up just 3 yards on the punt return, and now we await the official's call.
Yeah, too much east-west running, Brad, instead of north-south there.
They're actually going to move the football all the way back to the Chieftain 49-yard line.
Flag is on the 45, so if it's a holding, it's going to go to Dakota 45.
Personal foul, blindside block, number 59 of the
Instead, it will be a personal foul, 15-yard blindside block there by the Cougars. So this will back the football up 15 yards. 29 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. Dakota in front of Utica 3-0. A 42-yard field goal, our only score of this football game.
Yeah, those blocks are tough. You gotta, you teach your kids, hey, you gotta see the front of the jersey. Don't touch them if it's in the back of the jersey. But boy, it's so hard sometimes to lay off, and that's a big penalty as the Cougars are well back on their side of the football field right now.
Forden brings goings over. Ford gonna pass for it. Good clean pocket, looking deep for Malone, and overshoots him. Had Malone open and just couldn't catch it in stride. If he catches that football, it's 6 points.
It's the same play they ran against Romeo in our last broadcast, Brad. They ran the little jet motion sweep, and Malone, I don't know how you let number 10 run past you at 6'2", 210, but they did, and he just slightly overthrew him a little bit. That would have been a touchdown, and man, you cannot lose track of Damari Malone. I mean, I know you got to honor Goings. He's their speedster, but you can't let number 10 get free in the secondary. Jaden Ford just missed him by a tad.
3 wide receiver look this time. Ford in the pistol formation. 3 down linemen. Linebacker on the outside brings a little bit of pressure. They go straight ahead this time with Aaron up to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, nice gain of 4 there. Did a nice job of fouling his blocks.
We'll see if that is the final play of this first quarter of play. It doesn't appear that the Cougars are going to be in any sort of hurry to snap this football, and that will, in fact, be it for the first quarter of play. So the only scoring of the quarter, a 42-yard Austin Aronowski field goal. After one quarter, the Cougars lead it 3-0. We'll take a quick break here on CVC TV.
We are the MHSAA, a collection of 750 high schools and 750 middle schools, from Temperance to Copper Harbor, from New Buffalo to Alpena. Each year, more than 250,000 students play one of our 28 sports. More than 1.5 million fans attend our postseason games. There are 30,000 coaches and 8,000 officials, not to mention all of the volunteers. The MHSAA believes in the 4 S's. School sports should be safe and kept in the appropriate scope. We believe nothing beats great sportsmanship, and that scholarship in the classroom is more important than excellence on the field or court. Most of all, we believe school sports should be fun. So come out and join us at a game. Support your school, support your community, and come see what the excitement is all about.
Start of the second quarter of play. Cougars facing a 3rd and 5. Brad Fetters alongside Jeff Vitale. Ford going to throw for it. Flushed and brought down. Chieftains brought pressure. They get home and they sack the quarterback. Dominic Gandy with the sack for the Chieftains.
Well, Donovan Jarbaugh was the one who kind of got in there and disrupted things and forced Ford to come up right into the hands of Gandy. And a punt situation for the Cougars. So how about the Chieftain defense? 2 possessions here, holding strong. Dialing up the blitzes just at the right time and making some things happen as they get a chance to get their offense back on the field, a chance to take this lead or tie the game.
Jesse Azar deep for Utica. Aronowski's punt end over end. Azar steps up, calls for, and makes the fair catch at the 37-yard line. Third time the Chieftains have put the ball in play. 11-13 now left to go in the first half.
You know, they've been able to move the ball at times, Brad, but just certain little breakdowns, whether it was a penalty on the first drive that kind of put them back. That last one, you know, no one blocked Logan Kreitzer, who got in for a big sack and stalled their drive out. They just got to keep that momentum going and be able to move the sticks, because the minute those breakdowns happen, a good team like the Cougars are going to make them pay for it. And you got to just continue to try to play mistake-free football and keep yourselves in the ball game.
2 first downs in this football game for Utica. They've run 10 offensive plays. Rolling out to the right, looking downfield. Gawilli tried to go up with one hand, couldn't bring it in. Terrific effort by him. Heigl throwing across the body all the way out to the numbers. So it's going to be a tough pass. That was Elijah Goings out there in coverage for Dakota, brings up a 2nd down 10.
Yeah, it was kind of a wheel route there, and Goings, I think, jumped in front of it. Coach Bauer, I don't think, was happy because he let his man get behind him, because if Gwilly makes that catch, it's a touchdown, and Utica's in the lead there. So, you know, as a corner, especially when you have no safety help, you can't let that receiver get behind you. Bad things are going to happen.
This Utica coaching staff has done a fabulous job. Matthew Maruli, the man in charge, just the 8th postseason trip in program history. They are 0-7 all time in the playoffs.
Aiden Lindsay laid a big pop on Gwilly on that one. Not before he gets about 5. So a little, almost like a power ISO right here. 2 guys leading, but Torrey does a nice job of stuffing it. He cuts back up the middle, and there was nobody there. He ends up getting something out of nothing. We got a flag on the play.
Personal foul, flat goal away. Offense, number 87. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
So usually that happens is someone's engaged and then someone cuts somebody. That's usually where the block below waist penalty comes, because if someone's in the tackle box, it's completely legal.
And you do see that oftentimes with the service academies at the collegiate level that run a lot of motion and and just have some of those undersized offensive linemen. So a 15-yard penalty is really going to put the Chieftains behind schedule.
And 87's Eddie Barnhart. If you look on there, you can see he's a helmet ahead above everyone. He's easy to spot. Kind of like trying to find Justin Bell. Those two are probably the easiest two guys in the field to find.
As we mentioned, 8th trip to the postseason for Utica. I've qualified now 3 of the last 4 seasons. So we talked about this great turnaround that this coaching staff has been able to pull off. And this is the first time in program history that they have qualified for the playoffs in back-to-back seasons.
Well, again, that builds some tradition. It builds some excitement around your school district. Your middle school kids get excited, want to play varsity football. It just keeps that community thriving, and again, it's keeping it going. We talked about Dakota Street, Brad, which is absolutely incredible. And again, these kids grow up and they want to play Dakota Cougar football, and that's what Utica's trying to establish right now. And you're on your way when you got 3 or 4 years going. You want to keep that consistency. You want to keep that level of excellence, and every year when you get in there, the expectation goes up a notch.
Matthew Maruli and the Utica Chieftains taking a time out. It's a little bit of a tough situation with the fact that there are so many high schools in the Utica School District. Obviously, you have Eisenhower, you have Ford over there as well, Sterling Heights Stevenson. So it's a little bit of a tough situation where you have 4 fairly large high schools. It's a big sort of pool to be drawing kids out of.
Yeah, and Stevenson and Ford are fairly close to each other. Utica's obviously further north, just north of M59. They're about 3-4 miles from Eisenhower High School, but it's a big area to pull from. And back in the day during the mighty run of the Titans, it was kind of a free-for-all in the district where kids could kind of go wherever they wanted to. And they have kind of put the clamps on that a little bit and kind of spreads the talent out throughout the district. But you're talking about Stevenson, Eisenhower, and Utica on the playoffs. That's 3 out of the 4 Utica schools. That's pretty impressive.
3rd and long. The line to gain is the 38. It's going to be Gwilly again. And he is just being forced to do everything here tonight for the Chieftains offensively. Up to the 28-yard line. So a minimal gain there on 3rd and long. And for the 3rd straight possession, Utica will be forced to punt the football away.
Yeah, and you can kind of see he's limping a little bit. He got beat up quite a bit there. He ran hard, but boy, it almost seemed like all 11 guys in that defense took a shot at him. Penalties will kill you, Brad. You got some good field position. You made a nice stop. You end up with a 2nd and 25, and now you're putting the ball back in the Cougars' hands.
Aronowski and Beidelshe's deep for the Cougars. It'll be Aronowski to field it at the 43. Turns upfield, crosses over the midfield stripe up to the 45, and finally heads out of bounds at the Chieftains' 43-yard line. So for the 2nd time in this football game, the Cougars will start in Chieftain territory.
Yeah, that field position is big. Your defense is holding tall. You obviously had a few penalties that have, for Utica, that have kind of put their offense in a bind, and the Cougars are kind of, reaping the benefits of those Chieftain penalties with good field position. So this is kind of an area of the field, Brad, with 9:37 to go here, where you want to try to cash in 7 here and give yourself a little extension here in this game.
Hamby over in motion, going to be one of the lead blockers for Jeremiah Aaron. Aaron across the 40, cut down at the 39-yard line, picks up 4.
Yeah, just nice job of being patient there between the tackles. Just following those big guys and getting your yards. Eventually, you're going to open it up and break one. Just be patient. It's early in the game. Get your yards. Keep the sticks moving. Good things are going to happen.
Dakota, all season long, just haven't won football games. They have dominated. All their wins this season were by more than 2 touchdowns. 7 of the 8 wins were by more than 21 points. Aaron to the 35. It'll be 3rd down, 2 to go.
This team can beat you putting the ball through the air, running the ball on the ground, but it's really this defense just kind of makes everything go. And, you always say it's easy to look ahead, and we know that the other district game is Eisenhower Romeo, but you can't overlook anybody in these playoffs because it is one and done, and teams were literally fighting for their their season not to end.
Goings was brought over in motion. He will now be in the slot wide receiver. Ford's just going to turn, and he's going to hand off to Jeremiah Aaron. And it looked like he got the initial push, which should be good enough for a first down before getting driven back, and they will, in fact, give him the first down.
So speaking of those teams, Eisenhower early lead on Romeo, 7-0, and Cass Tech with an early 3-0 lead on Stevenson.
So kind of put things in perspective. Eisenhower, the 7 seed in Division I, Romeo, the 19. So that would be next week for a district championship. If Dakota's able to handle their business, it would be a MAC Red rematch. The other 4 teams in this region, you mentioned Cass Tech and Sterling Heights Stevenson. The other 2 teams making up that district are Dearborn and Dearborn-Fordson. Look out, Brady Hamby into the clear, cross the goal line and into the end zone for a Cougar touchdown. Brady Hamby from 33 yards out.
Yeah, this kid just does not tire, does he? Just straight up the middle. Nothing fancy about this. This is power football, a little trap play. Nice job there by Meehan on the block, and Hamby off to the races, and he cuts just inside of Brendan Meehan's block for the touchdown. And
there is a late flag. There is a late flag. I can't imagine it'll affect the outcome of the play. Hamby's got his hands up in the air.
Maybe a blindside defenseless player. Sideline warning.
Defense, number 81, 15-yard penalty, and forced on the kick. Try down.
So there you go. It'll be a personal foul against the Chieftains, so the touchdown is good. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff. Just so well blocked up front. Hamby, that lane just opened up, and he was able to scamper through it. Aronowski's extra point is up. Aronowski's extra point is through. Gives Hamby 10 rushing touchdowns now on the season, and it opens up that Cougar lead to 10-0.
Yeah, nice trap play. Again, Hamby hits the hole, and he's gone. And, one little mistake by the Chieftains, and now you're trailing by 2 scores. And, again, what you didn't want to do is dig yourself an early hole. Some of the penalties have really killed some drives. Dakota here is going to kick off from the 45-yard line of Utica, which obviously this will go into the end zone. But, again, they're going to start another drive at the 20-yard line and have to work with a lot of field. And you just can't hurt yourself like they've done early in this football game with penalties.
You almost have to play a perfect game when you are playing this far up in terms of Utica being a MAC white team. We talk about it. We cover enough MAC games. We cover enough MAC red games that when we do see these crossover matchups, they typically go the way of the MAC red team.
So something you don't see a whole lot is a kickoff happening from the receiver's side of the field.
Well, and then the question becomes, when you are on this side of the 50-yard line, do you attempt an onside kick knowing you're really only giving up, 15 yards in field position? And Dakota will instead put it right through the uprights. Well, it was a thought.
Yeah. Well, the way your defense is playing, you could definitely get away with doing that. They've been outstanding. I don't know. Snooze to you going crazier now. It's 10-7. Eisenhower over Romeo, so the Bulldogs get in the end zone. Ike adding a field goal. That Stevenson-Cass Tech game is going to be interesting because I think the Titans can play with the technicians. I definitely, Cass Tech is Cass Tech, okay, but I don't think they're the typical powerhouse we've seen them. I think Stevenson could be putting the upset on tonight.
Wow.
Tough place to play, though.
Heigl turns, hands off. Willie fighting through a bunch of tackles. There's a stiff arm. Look out. Willie across the 50 to the 45. and finally ushered out of bounds. They'll mark him at the 43-yard line. A 23-yard run on first down.
Yeah, here comes that little double pull here, and he just keeps his feet moving. I mean, look at all the guys hitting him, and he just does not go down. That's a man's run right there. Big stiff arm, and down the sidelines he goes before Elijah Goings pushes him out of bounds. But that is man's run right there as he gets all the way down to the 43-yard line. Chieftains are in business. This kid can flat out play, folks.
7:20 left to go, first half of play. That's just a terrific individual effort, just a young man unwilling to go down.
Yeah, I mean, that's just 100% effort right there.
Play action fake. Heigl flushed out of the pocket, scrambling for his life. Going to get sacked back at the 40-yard line. Arnez Sanders, one of the first Cougars in.
Yeah, defensive line gets such a push. Heigl got back there to throw it, and he was running for his life. And, you know, Gwilly was out on the play getting a breather. And Cougars make a sack here, making it 2nd and long now, 2nd and 12.
Dakota will get the football to start the second half. If they're able to come up with a defensive stop here, you can essentially go back-to-back offensive possessions. They lead it 10-0, 6.5 minutes now remaining in the second quarter. Michael takes the low snap, 5-step drop. Gonna throw the screen pass. That play is absolutely blown up by Brady Hamby. And they'll say the pass was incomplete.
You did not fool number 8 on that one. He was waiting on it. And to say he blew that play up is an understatement. That ball came flying out of the receiver's hand, basically saying he did not maintain possession. You're gonna get a really good look at it here. Look at this field cam. Bam.
Textbook tackle. Carter Chapsky unable to bring it in. Joe Chapo, our camera operator at field level.
You talk about the talent on this team, Brad, but there's no other MVP on this team than number 8.
No.
Not even close.
Nope. I always think back to last season when he was forced into the quarterback position, as once again Willie brought down Logan Kreitzer again.
Yeah, Torrey was in there too. Logan Kreitzer was not going to let him go this time, was he?
No, fool me once, right?
Yeah, he had a bear hug on him. Torrey came in to help. You know, those are two guys that bench well over, combined together, are 700 pounds, and there's Kreitzer taking him to the ground. Torrey coming to help. That was mostly Logan Kreitzer.
Sheese and Aronowski once again deep. Punter rolls out, kicks it straight up into the air. Bit of a shank. It will take a fortunate Utica bounce, and then it did hit off a Chieftain player. That ball came up and got him. 42-yard line for the Cougars.
Well, the touch happened at the 44, so that is where they're going to spot the football. 5:27 to go. With the way their defense is playing, Brad, if you can get a quick strike here, you might even get a two for before the half.
At their own 44-yard line.
Jeremiah Aaron in at the tailback position. Very dangerous Damari Malone, sort of lined up in that hybrid tight end position. They're going to bring him over in motion over to the right-hand side. Ford better look out. Ford, and the initial call here's a fumble.
Yeah, no whistle.
It looked like Ford was just trying to chuck that one down into the field turf. The offensive line saying his arm was moving forward. And the officials will say it will be, in fact, a fumble. So there's one of those turnovers we talked about.
Yeah, it was a long developing route here. You can see defensive end here on the lower side of your screen, and that's number 60. Actually, no, check that, 78. He's made a few plays today. Gandy, he comes and makes a great play. I mean, it looked like he threw it, but it looked like the hit came before he threw it. But it looked like he had control of the football. Let's see here. Great angle.
What a play by Gandy. He was clearly going for that strip.
He's had a heck of a ball game tonight. Nice pass there. Oh, there's another big hit.
This time they complete the pass out to Barnhart.
Dominic Van Vliet on the pop there. Gets a nice 6-yard gain, though. Call that a 5-yard gain. There's some hitting going on. These guys are playing some big boy football. And the biggest thing with Utica is staying away from your penalties. Keep those. Hey, take what the defense gives you. Take those 4 or 5-yard gains. It's going to move the ball down the field. Be patient. Make the right play. Take your time. You're in no rush. Again, the longer you can keep the Dakota offense off the field, they can't score points, and then you got to cash in and get some. You know, you're not going to come back into this game with 1 score, so you just got to make your drives count. You got to make each play count.
Willie takes it on the sweep, able to make the first man miss. That was Hamby that immediately got into the backfield.
He stiff-armed Hamby. How many people can say that?
Not many.
No, this kid is everything as advertised. He is legit.
Willie unable to turn the corner, got back to the line of scrimmage. So 3rd down, 5 to go. Clock continues to run. 4 minutes now left to go in the first half.
Yeah, Brady had some help there from his safety come up and make the play for no gain, but very rarely do you see Mr. Hamby not make that play.
Adiasak in the backfield. Willie, they're going to hand to the fullback.
Justin made that tackle.
Carter Chapsky.
So we've seen them run the counter off this play, Brad, or the power to the side. Well, they come with the counter back to Zapsky, and boy, Hamby was right there to read it. No gain. I like the play call. I mean, it's a great play call. It's a great play design. Dakota's defense just makes a great play.
Are you at all surprised that Utica would punt this football away?
I am, because I think their defense has played pretty well. I mean, I know you want to give them great field, but they just started their last drive at the 40-yard line, so in your territory. So
they're allowing the clock to run down. They will snap the football. Punt is away. It's going to bounce inside the 20. Going to get fielded at the 10. Up to the 19-yard line. A 9-yard return for Beetleshees.
Number 5, Dylan Beetleshees on the carry.
So 5 offensive possessions for the Chieftains, 5 punts. The Cougars will put the ball back in play. 2:48 left to go in the first half. They lead at 10-0.
I definitely think, though, their last series was probably their best offensive series. They did some nice things there. Cougar defense made some big plays, especially on that counter. I like the counter call. That was a great play call. Just was not perfectly executed. But I definitely can see from a coaching standpoint what they're doing here. And this is going to be, you know, you've asked a lot of your defense. I think they've played pretty well in this first half. Don't give up 7 here, boys. Keep us in the game going into halftime.
Ford in the pistol. Jeremiah Aaron, the lone running back. They're going to throw it out to the flats, and falling down, Elijah Goings. He's upset with himself, unable to turn that upfield. Loses 2 yards.
Yeah, Turf Monster got him, and all right, some updates. 17-7, Eisenhower over Romeo. 10-0, Cass Tech over Stevenson. Following some of our Macomb area red teams in the playoffs.
Ford directing traffic. Ford fakes the throw, pump fakes. Got him, man, got him. Complete. Chase Thornton off to the races.
There he goes. He did it again.
Across the 20 to the 10, into the end zone for a Cougar touchdown.
Well, Chase had a 70-yard touchdown pass last week. 82 this week.
Talk about a home run ball.
Watch his shoulder pump. Boom. And then there it goes.
And just an easy pitch and catch. That was Caston Rissman attempting the touchdown saving tackle. He comes up empty. For the second week in a row, the senior Thornton into the end zone. Aronofsky in to attempt the extra point. Landon Mitchelson, senior wide receiver, in for the hold.
That's a backbreaker. You pin them deep, you make them lose 2 yards on the first play, and then they hit you with an 82-yard touchdown pass. That stings a little bit as you now trail by 3 scores.
Extra point is good. So forward to Thornton, 17-0 in the blink of an eye. As we'll get another look at it here on our CBC TV instant replay. Thornton able to stay on his feet. He coasts into the end zone. So Utica has battled all first half long, and then you get the big uppercut punch there out of the Cougars offensively.
Yeah, that was a haymaker, and that connected. And, I mean, now if you're Utica, especially with Dakota getting the ball to start the second half, you got to try to make something happen here, which kind of might be out of your game plan. But what you don't want to do is just keep kind of having the old pylon situation of points coming your way. You got to be able to put some points on the board here with them getting the ball to start the second half.
Dakota does have all 3 of their first half timeouts. We'll see how they use those defensively.
Backseat number 2, Monty Willie, and number 3, Jake Barton.
Monty Willie deep as the kick returner here. Chieftains going to bring this out. Got a bit of a lane. That was Jack Berg up to the 26-yard line. An opportunity here for the Chieftains with under 2 minutes left to go in the first half to put up their first points in this football game.
Yeah, got to make something happen here. Again, 17-0. Dakota just hit you on a big play. You got to counterpunch if you're going to stay in this game. And again, the last several drives, I mean, they have had to work with a long field. And when you have that against the Cougars, that favors his defense, which is just, we've said it time and time again, just outstanding unit.
Chieftains have picked up 3 first downs on their first 5 drives of this football game. 2 wide receiver set. Michael looks over at his road sidelines, and now they're going to be forced to take a timeout.
Charge timeout. Utica, their second of the half.
So Dakota, we mentioned trying to keep a bunch of streaks alive. They've already kept their playoff streak alive, 24 straight seasons now.
It's outstanding.
Cougars 43-22 all time in the MHSA playoffs. That's a 662 win percentage.
Pretty good.
Not bad. The other
State
streak,
championships in there.
the other streak they're trying to keep alive, 12 straight years they've made it out of the first round of the MHSA playoffs. Last time they failed to make a district championship game was in 2011, a 35-0 loss to the Eisenhower Eagles. And it really, that's impressive. It might even be more impressive than the 24 straight playoff appearances, the 12 straight years getting out of the first round, when you consider the sort of matchups that Dakota seemingly gets year in and year out. We always seem to get rematches with MAC red opponents or, MAC white foes. So it's always really good competition in these districts.
Aiden
Lindsay with a terrific tackle.
A little help from Don Van Vliet coming up from the safety spot too, but nice job there to not let the jet sweep get going. Well, Utica's just kind of struggled trying to get something going and trying to get some points here before the half, but if they don't get the first down here, these timeouts could help Dakota maybe get another score on the board.
Yeah, because Dakota will take a timeout. Fourth longest active playoff streak for Dakota. The only schools that have longer streaks. Rockford Rams 30 straight playoff appearances.
Well, the history over there too on the west side of the state. It's incredible with Muskegon and some of those schools that are over there. Hudsonville, Grand Haven, all those places. Well,
Jackson Lumen Christi 27 straight years, and then the aforementioned, you just mentioned them, Muskegon 25 straight seasons. Crystal Falls Forest Park, I had to look them up.
Okay.
28 years, but we can't include them with the rest of the schools because they play 8-man football. So they're an 8-man playoff participant.
So they're 3 short of a full Happy Meal is what you're saying?
Yeah. There's a fake. Boy, oh boy. All kinds of time in the pocket, just nobody open, and finally floating one out of bounds.
Yeah,
That's
tried to give him a little
incomplete.
pump fake, and the defensive back over there was hard to see, but did not bite on it at all, and that did not quite work out the way Utica was hoping to. And now you're faced with another 3rd and long with this defense, and boy, oh boy, you just can't put yourself in 3rd and longs with his defenses. Coach Bauer, we've seen over the years, he is not going to let you just sit back there and throw it. He's going to bring something at you. And what we've seen a lot this year is this front four can generate so much pressure with just themselves.
Yeah, they don't need any support from their linebacking core, do they?
No, you got Lindsay, you got Torrey, you got Kreitzer. You also got you got Lynch down there. Those 4 can get home all by themselves. They don't need any help. Jet sweep. Oh,
Another hard hit.
that was a big one. That was
Willie
a big one, yeah.
gonna stay down now, gonna get brought up via the help of some of his linemen.
Oh, he got clobbered on that hit, Brad. You can kind of see it. He's shaking up a little bit. Just keep an eye on this kid. He's you don't. What you definitely don't want to see is any injury that could risk his health. This kid's a tremendous athlete. Look at this hit. Holy smokes. Sanders on the tackle, but it was Hamby that caught him
Hamby
flush.
coming in as the second man in support.
God, I almost felt that one through the monitor.
So Dakota uses their second timeout of the half. They will have 1 remaining, 1:36 left to go in the second quarter.
Chieftains have had troubles getting the punts off here, so you're going to get good field position with about 1:30, 1:25 to go here in the half, and you're in good shape.
Matt Uzak brings up the low snap, gets the punt off. She catches it at the 40, turns upfield across the 50, spins out of the first tackle, and gains an additional 5 or 6 yards as he was finally brought down at the Utica 40-yard line.
And Jared Lamb on the tackle there for the Chieftains. Vital She's kind of hit that seam as they were coming down their lanes, and Lamb makes a tackle which probably might have resulted in 6 here. He makes a great play. Watch him here, just kind of line him up. He hits that seam really quick, and Lamb just makes a great play. He gets slowed up by Bark, and the Cougars are at the 40. 1:25 at the 40. That's an eternity, Brad.
Yeah, 3rd time that Dakota has started on their opponent's side of the 50. Alone, over in motion. Ford looks his way. Ford flings it downfield, tipped and intercepted, and carried into the end zone for the touchback. So that's Landon Luce, the junior defensive back, with the interception. Second turnover of this football game offensively for the Cougars.
I think that was Chase Christian who tipped it, number 0. As he fires it down there, you can see him closing there. Nope, that was Bark. And he's had a heck of a game. Yep.
Oh, so now they're going to change it from a touchback.
So you see the catch right there. He comes down
1,
at the
2 feet. Yep.
Almost technically he was at the 1 once he established 2 feet. They gave him the extra yard, but momentum can't carry you into the end zone. You establish possession actually at the 1, but are you in a position here where you just bring some blitzes here and you try to get a safety out of this, try to get some more points up?
So we'll take another look at it here on our CBC TV replay.
Great job of getting his hands up there because he was beat. Just slightly underthrown.
Dakota with just one timeout left to go in this half. Chieftains are going to have to run a couple plays and just make sure they keep it out of their own end zone. Quickly getting up under center. Heigl will hand off. This is going to be a safety. This is going to be a safety.
That far side guy is marking at the half-yard line.
The near side official says safety.
Yeah, he did not make it out. You watch the replay. He did not get out of the end zone. He's coming from the far side, but he did not make it out of the end zone.
So they hand it off to Xavier Crosby. We'll get another look at it here.
We got to go a little bit earlier. But he got hit, reestablished his position, which keeps him in play, and then the tackle occurred in the end zone here. And there's a big conversation going on here, but you can see right there, that's where he reestablished his position. Okay. That's a safety. They're having a lengthy conversation.
Terrific job by Jeff Amakuchi running our replays here tonight. Oh, so now they're going to change their mind.
Well, that gets the faithful a little riled up here. they have it on snooze to you already at 19-0. They quick trigger finger there on the snooze to you button. Gotta erase that and get that 19 off the board. Well, he reestablished position inside the goal line. Should have been a safety. They gave him the benefit of the doubt.
So they will say at the half-yard line?
At the half-yard line. So we'll see a score stream here. No, not. Whoever's working the score stream tonight is not refusing to update the app.
This year, the MHSAA is celebrating a century of sports. Help celebrate 100 years of the MHSAA by visiting us online to see exclusive content about the people, places, and things that make school sports so special. Rivalries, records, and remembering some of the state's top players. Relive it all at MHSAA.com. Thank you to everyone who has been a part of a century of sports. Here we go now, 2nd down and 11. Chieftains going to have to snap this football out of the shadow of their own goalpost. Really nowhere to go. Dakota really dialing up the pressure, and there's some movement up front.
Oh, they got him on a hard count. Yep.
And the Chieftains are celebrating. There was movement along that defensive line.
Yeah,
and this will give Utica all the breathing room they need, as it'll get marked now at the 6-yard line.
Well, ball was at the 1. They got it just outside the 5. I don't know if that's really a 5-yard penalty or not. Even at the half-yard line, that ball's a little short of the half-yard line, isn't it?
Yeah. So a bit of a bad break there for the Cougars. Thought they had the safety. Instead, mark it at the half-yard line, and the Chieftains able to get the Cougars biting on the hard count. Cougars used their last time out of the half, so more than likely Utica will run a few more plays. This is Gawilli again. Picked up a yard.
At least it opened up the playbook a little bit. When you're on the half-yard line, you are extremely limited on what you want to call.
Reminder, the Cougars will get the ball coming out of the halftime break. Lead at 17-0. Brad Fetters alongside Jeff Vitale for Chippewa Valley Cable Television.
Brad, if you're the Chieftains here, you are in no hurry to run a play. You got third and 4. You can even wind this down and take this almost like a delay a game, run another play and run it out unless Dakota chooses to call timeout. But I take this down as far as you can. The line judge got his hand up, which means he's under 10. Here's 5. There's 4. There's 3. Just got it off.
And now some movement again. Penalty flags are out.
Gets a first down.
Number 22, Cam Matusek on the carry.
Tuzak
Number 1, Elijah
did pick up the first down.
The line judge on the Dakota Cougar side is the one who threw the flag. takes away the first down. Nice job by the official, by the way, looking into our camera, Brad.
Thank you.
Yeah, this isn't his first rodeo,
No,
right?
I guess not.
Nice job.
You get evaluated as an official throughout the season, so there's certain crews that make the playoffs. Not everybody makes the playoffs, even in the world of officiating.
Well,
right?
would you give that head referee bonus points now for looking into the camera?
I would. I'd pay him a couple extra bucks.
In his referee evaluation? Give him high praise?
This takes you back to pretty much just kind of knuckling up and just going straight forward here. And my bet would be Willie here on the sweep. Or take a knee.
And instead, they will take that knee, and we will head into the halftime break with the score. The Dakota Cougars 17, the Utica Chieftains nothing. First round of the MHSAA playoffs. Jeff Vitale, your thoughts here on the first half of play?
Well, a couple big plays by the Cougars. They have them up. It's been the Chieftains, kind of hurting themselves with some penalties. Have given the Cougars a big cushion here, a 3-score lead. Dakota get the ball to start the second half. If you're Utica, you got to find a way to dial up some of that defense to get the ball back without giving up another touchdown. So all Cougars right now in the first half.
Keep it locked into CVC TV. Our entire halftime performance, including the dance team and band, will be streamed for you in its entirety. But when we come back, it'll be the start of the second half of play. Don't go anywhere.
Across Michigan. Let's have a big hand for the Varsity dance team here to entertain us tonight. Make the money, get the mansion, bring the homies with us. You look just a bit too hard, and I'm still Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dakota Cougar Marching Band under the direction of Justin McCarowitz and Kurt Reyes, led by drum majors Andrew Thamaris and Anthony Singer. Tonight the band will perform part of their show titled The Coven, inspired by the Crucible. Music for tonight's performance includes Renegade by Styx, Cinnamon by Nina Simone, and Knights of Sidonia by Muse. Music for tonight's performance is arranged by Thomas Wharton. Visual design was created by Brandon Balicki and Monique Brady Farmer. Tonight's performance includes soloist Jackson Jerichos on the mellophone. From Majors, you may now begin your halftime performance. The Dakota Marching Band proudly performs at all Dakota varsity football games, the Richmond Good Old Days Parade, the Detroit Thanksgiving Day Parade, and in the Scholastic March.
Welcome back to Dakota High School, home of the Cougars. 17-0 our score, nearly set to go third quarter of play. There we are, Jeff. How about that?
Stand up.
Nice job by Joe Chapo down at field level, bringing you the sights and sounds. Cougars, 2 turnovers. That's the bad news. Good news, you're still in command of this football game.
Yeah, a couple big plays. The Hamby run and the pass obviously broke the game open, and the untimely penalties by Utica have really kind of hurt themselves. I thought they played a fantastic first quarter, and then just mistakes in the second quarter have really cost them. So this is going to be a big halftime of adjustments for the Chieftains, because you do not want Dakota to come out and put up 24-0 here.
Total yards of offense, a huge discrepancy, 136 for the Dakota Cougars, just 25 yards for the Utica Chieftains. 3 first downs in that first half, and really one big drive in that first half of 16 yards, but 6 punts in the half for Utica.
You had some negative plays. You had some untimely penalties that put you in long situations, and when you get yourself in a one-dimensional situation offensive, that defense just tees off on you, and that's what we've seen so far. So down 17-0, do you think the Chieftains come out with some creative onside kick here, Brad? Because again, this is kind of like Dan Fouts and the Water Boy. I know we put this graphic up on me before, but this is kind of like, not necessarily, it's the last game if you lose, but you can't hold anything back here, because again, you end up going home. You win, you stay, you lose, you go home. It's over.
So we'll see what, in fact, the Chieftains elect to do. Issa Saeed has the ball teed up.
Picking up for the Chieftains is number 10, Issa Saeed.
We'll see if they go with some trickeration here. Saeed approaches the football and will kick it deep. It's Beetleshees. Across the 30, up to the 35, dragged down by his shoelaces at the 40-yard line.
A nice return there by Dylan. Nice 29-yard return. And the Cougars are off and running here. 40-yard line to start. That's been another thing, Brad, too, we didn't talk about coming out of the break, is the field position battle. I mean, the Cougars have had to work with such short fields, where the Chieftains have had to work with just incredibly long fields.
Yeah, 3 Cougar offensive drives starting in Utica territory. Now this at the 40-yard line. They also had a kick return all the way out to the 44-yard line. So the game of field position has definitely been won by the Cougars this evening. Hamby in the backfield, Ford in at quarterback, Malone over in motion. And there's a bad exchange between Ford and Hamby. Boy, oh boy, got to clean this part of the game up. Nearly the 3rd turnover of this football game. We talked about it at the very top of the broadcast. If Utica was going to pull the upset here in round 1 of the playoffs, they were going to have to come up with turnovers. Well, they've come up with 2 of them. We talked about maybe a big play on special teams.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need something to kind of balance out the, especially the field position battle, because it's been so lopsided in terms of starting field position. And you win this week, you got Eisenhower looming and possibly on the edge, because they're up 38-7 on Romeo right now at the half, and Cass Tech is up 24-0 on Stevenson's at the half. So
really good, strong, hard run by Hamby up to the 48. Picks up 11. It's going to be 2 yards short of the chains, but just look at this run. Finds that hole and then just starts making guys miss.
Yeah, he's a beast. Look at that push by that offensive line, and it puts the Cougars at a 3rd and manageable here at 3rd and 2.
Jake Barg eventually making the tackle.
Look at all the guys in white creeping up into the box.
They're going to go right back to Hamby. Across the 50 to the 45, lowers the shoulder, keeps moving, all the way up to the Chieftain 35-yard line. 17 yards for the first down, Brady Hamby.
That's why we call him the Macomb County Energizer Bunny. I mean, this kid plays every snap on defense and then makes runs like this on offense. And just look at this. This is all effort. I mean, good God.
So Hamby scoring his 10th touchdown of the season in that first half. Chase Thornton hauling in his 4th touchdown reception of the season. Aronowski added on a 42-yard field goal. They're going to flip a pass out to Goings. Goings out in the flats. Along these sidelines, fumbled the football, and it's going to be Jack Aronowski, I believe, that scooped it up. Chieftains are acting like they have it.
Yeah, Aronowski was right there, and what a heads-up play of getting downfield and keeps the Cougar drive alive at the 9.
Let's take another look here.
I don't know where Utica was pointing their way for. I mean, they didn't get the ball. And there was 4 Chieftains to 2 Cougars. Watch this. Watch Aronowski just keep running here and not give up on the play. And wow, how does he come up with that football? Well, you kind of see it there.
There's a battle for it.
I mean, he has the ball right there. And then
late man
in. Maybe he didn't have it, and the referee's coming in. He didn't see it. Cougars might have got away with one there.
Stumbling forward. Jeremiah Aaron going to be short of the goal line. So second down, goal to go.
Yeah, maybe he didn't have control of that ball, Brad. That'd be a tough call for the Chieftains.
So second down, goal to go, upcoming for Dakota. Ball spotted at the 3-yard line. Ford out of the shotgun. Leans in, turns hands off to Aaron, who literally walks in to the end zone from 3 yards out for the Cougar touchdown.
Yeah, he's what a steal there. Made one little move and jogged right in, untouched. Look at that pile and just boom.
7th touchdown of the season now for the sophomore.
Again, if you're Utica, this is not what you wanted to have happen as you come out right to start the second half and you give up a touchdown drive. Now to go down 4 scores.
Aronowski in to add the extra point. Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is through. 9:11 left to go in the third quarter. Cougars now lead at 24-0. Now, this is the 13th all-time meeting between the two schools. Dakota is 9-3 all-time against Utica, including 8 wins in a row. The last Utica victory in the series was back in 2000, a 42-15 victory for the Chieftains on that night. Utica is the 8th most played opponent for the Cougars. Can you name the other 7? I'd like to put you on the spot with these trivia questions.
Man,
some of them should be obvious. Think the MAC Red. Well, so seven opponents have played.
I'm gonna say L'Anse Creuse North.
Yep,
they're right down the road.
Yep, L'Anse Creuse North is one.
Chippewa Valley.
Obviously, number 1.
Eisenhower.
Yep, number 2.
Stevenson.
Number 3.
Romeo.
4th most played opponent.
That leaves 1.
So you have 1 through 5. You have Chippewa, Ike, Stevenson, Romeo, L'Anse Creuse North. You're missing 2 other ones, and one's another MAC Red folk.
Anchor Bay.
Yep.
Yeah, we hit everybody in the
and
Ford.
Then, yeah, there you go. You
How
got
about
all 7.
Let's go.
You got all 7. So there's the.
Do I get a prize for that?
The 8th most played opponents in Dakota history, with Utica being the 8th.
And on the in the 06 state championship, the Cougars were 14-1, and that one was Utica 4.
Brought down by number 2, Antoine Biddle.
I got all 7. I feel proud, especially after that way I stunk last week. Good God. Put me on the spot. Thank God no one heard me.
They did if they watched the rear. Good kick return for Utica out to the 38-yard line. Chieftains looking to put a sustained drive together. Their longest drive of this football game has been 6 plays. That's just not going to get the job done. They're going to swing it out into the flats. And separated from that football, Brady Hamby again.
You just saw that play happening, and that ball just kind of seemed to take like a half hour to get there, and he just lit this kid up. Holy smokes.
That's Cam Matuzak out there.
Oh, God.
Talk about hearing footsteps.
Yeah, Cam Matuzak was a former Chippewa Valley student. 8th grade, he left in middle school. He was the Iroquois Panther, went over to Utica High School. So a lot of these juniors on the field know Cam Matuzak very well, and Brady Hamby just introduced himself. Wow, that was a hit.
So Monty Guilli is out there. Where's number 2 for the Chieftains? A little banged up in that first half. It's Matuzak again, and just nowhere for him to run.
Sanders, Van Vliet, all in there. And we've talked about this, Brad, quite a bit because we've seen the Cougars now quite a bit this year. But the way this defense just flows the football, any kind of long developing play just is not going to go well for you because they react so well to the ball. It's got to be something over the top or a quick hitter if you're really going to burn this defense.
Talked about Monty Guilli. Do you know the name Monty means mighty and powerful?
Well, he's had some runs today to definitely live up to that name.
So 3rd down and long upcoming for the Chieftains. Clock continues to run. 8:10 left to go, 3rd quarter of play. So glad you decided to tune us in here on the NFHS website. Collaboration with Chippewa Valley Cable Television. Brad Fetters with Jeff Vitale looking to go deep. Pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, just throwing a deep fade, and Arnaz Sanders never gave up his inside position and was able to knock that down and kind of used the sideline to help squeeze his receiver there without getting the interference penalty.
For the Chieftains, number 22, Cam Matuzak.
For the 7th time now in this football game, Utica going to punt the football away. Mentioned the winner of tonight's game will take on the other winner of this Region 4 District 2. It'll either be the Eisenhower Eagles or the Romeo Bulldogs. Jack Aronowski, minimal return there on the punt.
And right now that's looking more like it's going to be Eisenhower, Brad. It's a 38-7 game with 2 quarters to go. And Ike, week 9, Ike lost a big game to Clarkston. They lost their star running back with a torn ACL. So, you kind of wondered how they were going to come out and respond with that. Boy, oh boy, 38 points in half is pretty impressive.
Those 2 teams, Eisenhower and Dakota, hooking up in week 7 of the regular season. Eisenhower winning that football game 21-14 at home at Swinehart Field. You know the Cougars would love that rematch here on their home turf, as we'll get a pre-snap penalty.
Substitution penalty. The Cougars had 12 guys.
Substitution infraction. Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That was Logan Kreitzer. Well, unfortunately, Logan Kreitzer was the 12th man on the field, or as big as he is, maybe the 12th and the 13th man on the field. A 5-yard penalty there for the Cougars. Hence, maybe that's why he wore 84, Brad.
Might be onto something.
Whoa, look at this.
Jeremiah Aaron getting a lot of run here at the tailback position. Carries it up to the 41-yard line. So a pickup of 11 yards.
A lot of good field vision right there. Staying between the tackles, just kind of getting in those lanes of those big guys leading the way. Look at this. Look at that lane. Beautiful blocking. Just continue to drag his feet. 78 there again for the Chieftains. Gandy, he's been all over the field tonight. He's had a heck of a ball game, offensively and defensively.
Throw it out to Aronowski.
Yeah, he caught it on his knee.
And they're going to spot him all the way back to the 39-yard line. Aronowski going down to a knee to field that throw, and he's down immediately.
Let's bring up a 3rd and 6 and the loss of 2 on the bubble screen. It was there, it was well blocked, but pass was a little low. He had to go down to a knee to catch it.
Cougars coming in with some momentum, 2 wins in a row, both on the road. A bit of a weird quirk to the Cougars schedule. They finished their last 3 games of the year on the road as Jaden Ford got absolutely plastered. Was able to find Chase Thornton. He's going to be marked just short of the first down marks.
Yeah, it became just a bubble screen as Hamby went in motion. He flew out there to block someone, hoping they could spring. And the Cougars going to go for this here on 4th and looks like maybe just right at 4th and 2 here as they bring some heavier personnel in. Hamby's in there. Malone's in there. Got a little wildcat situation here.
Yeah, so Jaden Ford checks out. Brady Hamby's going to take the snap at the quarterback position. You mentioned Malone now at the running back position. Now they're going to direct snap it to Damari Malone with Hamby as the lead blocker. Malone stays on his feet. Malone finally pushed out of bounds. A little bit of a trick play there.
Yeah, well, that little quirk, they kind of just did a double shift, froze for the 1 second that they needed to do. And, you know, while they're looking at Hamby, now he ends up becoming the lead blocker. And just Malone doesn't use the lead block, and, of course, he's not going to tackle him on his own and down the sidelines for a first down. How about that little play?
So Malone for 15 yards. Moves the Cougars into Chieftain territory. There's a look at some of the cheerleaders. Their leftover Halloween costumes from last night. Did you dress up?
I did in school. I did not dress out handing out candy. Kind of quiet in the neighborhood.
Fires it to the outside. He's got Jack Aronowski. Aronowski staying on his feet, dragging some tacklers down to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, Jack got hit the line of scrimmage, Brad, and what looked like was going to be a no gain turned into a 7-yard gain. How about that?
Just fighting through those tacklers.
Can't say enough about those effort plays. Those are plays that can't be coached. That's just something that's in the player there. And nice ball out there. I mean, look at it, comes up, makes a play, misses the block there, and look at this move, just keeps his feet going, turning, spinning.
Jake Berg again making the tackle. Jeremiah Aaron straight ahead for a couple.
And that could bring up another 3rd and 2.
Landed loose, making the tackle for the Chieftains. So Dakota scored on their opening drive of the second half, forced a 3-and-out. Got the football right back and are driving here. 4:12 left to go, 3rd quarter of play, facing a 3rd and short. And it's Aaron again. Look out. Aaron stays on his feet, trying to spin out of a tackle. Down to the 11-yard line. 23 yards on the scamper.
Just does not want to go down. And of course, you had Goings in motion there for that RPO. But look at this hole. And just the explosion of the hole. And again, keeps those feet moving. Young running backs keep those feet moving. Nicky Battaglia down there, downfield making a block. You saw Justin Bell go flying across the 5-yard line. And these Cougars are getting after it offensively.
Jesse Azar finally bringing down Jeremiah Aaron. Heavy doses of him here in the second half of play, and why not?
Right, when you see 22 get the ball, he doesn't have a last name on his shirt, that's a freshman. This here's a sophomore, folks. Going to be around a couple years. This backfield is going to be explosive in the years to come here.
Cougars pick up 4 on first down. Second down, 6 to go.
You see that big offensive line. Boy, they're just moving people.
Dakota can pick up another first down without scoring the football, and that play was blown up well. And once again, Dominic Gandy, that senior, has been phenomenal tonight for Utica.
Well, you looked, everyone blocked down. I don't think he read the hole because the way everyone had it sealed, he ended up running right into it. Look at everyone blocked down. He just didn't kick it out. You know, Justin Bell is blocking down. He ends up running right into Gamby. That was a little misread on the hole there by the tailback. And yeah, you're right. Gandy has had a heck of a ball game tonight. That kid definitely deserves a game ball for the Chieftains. He has played his heart out. Senior offensive, defensive lineman laying it all out on what could possibly be his last game.
Ford looking to his left, feels the pressure, able to avoid it. Now he's going to run with the football and lost the football. And Ford's able to pick it back up, and they signal for a touchdown. Touchdown Dakota, Jaden Ford. You're going to have to take another look at this one. Did he break the plane initially?
Boy, what a break there, because here you see the pressure. Gandy again on the pressure. Turns it up right there. The ball's out before he's down, and it's bouncing around. It gets hit by a helmet, and then there's a scrum for it.
Ford might have even actually kicked that to himself.
Well, the helmet pushed the ball as the one guy going. Either way, it's a touchdown, and Dakota looking to make this 31-0.
And they will do just that on the PAT. So it's going to be Jaden Ford from 8 yards out. Breaks have definitely gone the Cougars' ways here tonight, and we'll get another look at it from our field level camera.
So you see the ball coming out right here. It's out. Now watch. Right there, the head hits it, goes forward, and now it's bouncing. And oh, there he is. He's just kind of army crawling over and gets on the football, and little assist to himself. Well, with a possibly weak district championship rematch looming with Eisenhower, I think if you're the Cougars right now, you want to get another score on the board so the clock runs, so you can get your starters off the field and get them healthy. Because as of right now, Eisenhower is giving it to the Bulldogs 38-7. Same cushion, but again, both teams I think want a running clock and want to get to that 35-point margin where the clock runs. And again, you can kind of rest some guys for next week. So, you know, I think that, you know, you're still going to see at least these starters for another quarter and a half before you start seeing some guys subbed in here. Another high kickoff.
That's Jaden Ford's first rushing touchdown of the season. If you're keeping track at home.
You know, usually it's Mr. Hamby or Mr. Malone or Mr. Goings or Mr. I mean, you know, there's so many guys. Mr. Aaron, you know, I mean, it's crazy. You know, don't forget there's still. We haven't even said his name today, Petrovic. Like there's just a long line of guys that can hurt you on this team with the athleticism, and so many weapons. And then of course you had this outstanding defense, which has been kind of their staple this year, giving lots of teams some fits.
So this game kind of fitting in with the rest of the season for the Cougars. We mentioned all their wins this season by more than 2 touchdowns. As we're getting another quarterback sack.
Mr. Kreitzer.
Heigl absorbing the contact there and going down back at the 15-yard line. Can't say enough about this Cougar defense. Let's talk about this Cougar defense for a second. They're averaging 8 points against per game. Coming off back-to-back shutouts, gave up just 6 points to LCN, 6 points to Anchor Bay, 9 points to Stevenson, 7 points against Romeo and Chippewa Valley, but not quite the best defense, Dakota defense. I would give that to the 2013 Dakota team, who had 4 shutouts on the season.
Pretty good. Gave
up 42 points in the regular season. Jeff, that's under 5 points per game.
By the way, Brad, a new number is checked in. Number 44. This name sound familiar? Lucas Harper.
Should it?
big brother was playing here a few years ago. No? Okay. That is Harper, right? Remember, it's in the part of the Cougar here which we cannot read. I'm pretty sure that says Harper.
Yep.
He helped take away that slot receiver on the Kreitzer sack just a second ago, and then Damari Malone followed that sack up with his own tackle for loss, and it's kind of been a broken record, Brad, that
Lucas Harper, strong safety, 5'6", 160-pound junior. Chieftains will snap the football. Gawilli exploring. Gawilli with some speed. Gawilli into the secondary. Finally brought down at the 46-yard line. Big gain there for the Chieftains. Gives them the first down, as that will be the final play of the third quarter. 31-0 our score, as the Cougars outscore the Chieftains in the third quarter of play, 14-0. We'll take another quick break here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Fourth quarter of play from Dakota High School. Brad Fetters with Jeff Vitale. 31-0 Dakota Cougars in front of the Utica Chieftains. Boy, oh boy, Jeff, now there is a up close and personal view. Where are we shooting that from? The space station?
Yeah,
what is going on here?
Yeah, you can count all the grooves in the football and everything there.
Chieftains coming off of a first down run by their star tailback, Monty Gawilli.
He's broken some big ones here. You give him any kid a bit of daylight, he's been he hits that seam and he's gone. Now you see him out here as that number 2 receiver in the slot.
Michael Long at the very bottom of the formation, being guarded by Biddle.
Oh boy.
And just dancing around in the pocket. Heigl going to get sacked. Loss of a couple.
Lynch is in there, Lindsey's in there, Torrey I think got the sack, but there's just nowhere to go. Those big, strong defensive linemen. You can run, but you can't hide. Got a few more guys now subbing in as they are getting some bodies in there. Kreitzer out, and Raxton is in. Noah Raxter. Sorry, not Raxton. Haven't seen any new numbers yet coming from the Chieftains. We'll keep an eye on it.
This Dakota defense, 73 points given up in the regular season. Kind of compare them to maybe the defense from 2 seasons ago. 2022, they gave up 76 points in the regular season. They had a couple shutouts. Utica 4-5 in the regular season. Really had to play some outstanding football at the tail end of the year just to qualify for these MHSA playoffs. Won 2 of their last 3 games, won 3 of their last 5 wins over Lance Cruz North, and Cousino. Obviously the Week 8 loss to Dakota. They lost 47-0 to Roseville, had losses against Stevenson and Grosse Pointe South. So
pretty
they beat
tough schedule.
Yeah, they beat the teams they were supposed to beat and dropped games that they were supposed to lose.
They had some things go their way to kind of help them get in because it was really tight with those bottom 5 teams.
And obviously the 2 matchups against the MAC Red teams is Gawilli. Unable to bring that pass in, and we're going to get a late flag. Goings came in from the safety position, and I think they're going to get him for hitting a defenseless player. Cougar bench doesn't agree with the call.
That was a big hit too, and That may be one of those calls that's kind of one of those 31-0 calls, Brad. In a tight game, that may not get called, but we'll see if he leads with his helmet.
Personal foul, unnecessary dink, roughness defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So we'll give the Chieftains the automatic first down.
You can see it right here. He puts his shoulder right in the chest. I mean, he could have easily have taken his head off, and he put his shoulder right where he's supposed to. I mean, he's between the two guys, so I mean, he's got every right to make that play.
Don't forget, we're also slowing that down, right?
Well, right, they saw it live.
Right, at a much faster speed. It looks a lot worse, and Willie going to get bottled up and brought down in the backfield. What a stop there again by Tyler Torrey.
Number 2, Monty Roy on the carry, brought down by number 90, Tyler Torrey.
Got a injured Cougar player down.
Looks like it's Lynch on the ground at 99.
He's holding his left knee.
It's a problem down there in those trenches you get rolled up on, especially tonight being a lot colder. It's one of the worst feelings there is. Yeah, I mean, we have the luxury of slowing things down. There's also no replay in high school football where you can challenge things. You know, the referees on the field get one shot at full speed. And in a 31-0 game, you know, usually at this point in time of the game, the team that's trailing, you kind of give them the benefit of the doubt with the call. But on a bang-bang play, it looked worse than it was. But you got to make those calls. So. Why don't you go ahead and tell them, Brad?
Keep up with the everything MHSAA on social media. Look us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for tournament updates, event announcements, video highlights, and high school sports news from around the state. It's the best way to connect with the MHSAA every day.
Well, still tending to our player on the field here, as both teams on both sides now have taken a knee. A couple teammates out there to give an assist. The human crutches.
It's 99. It is in fact Lynch.
Hope he's okay, not being able to put any weight on it. That would be concerning. It's kind of tough to get your arm over Justin Bell, Brendan Meehan. Two pretty tall guys there. But those are two guys I'd want carrying me off the field. Those big boys.
Second down, 13 to go, 9:52 left to go in regulation. Cougars in front 31-0. Heigl looking downfield. Heigl throws it as he's hit, having to adjust for the football, and the pass will fall incomplete.
He ran into Hamby there, who knocked him down, and that ball kind of came, he had to come back for it. They just couldn't make the play, and
we'll bring up third down for the Chieftains.
Brady kind of spying the quarterback there, and bam, and then as you see after the fight for the football, it was just short. There were a ton of Cougars down there in coverage. Well, as we get deep into the playoffs, Brad, your pile of notes keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's quite an impressive stack. And
Utica finishing 2-3 in the MAC White. That was good enough for a third place tie along with Lakeview and Lance Cruz. Obviously Grosse Pointe South 5-0 and MAC White play 9-0 now on the season. They're the only team that's got a defense that sort of resembles Dakota's.
Michael Belmonte on that tackle, but not before Willie gets down to very close to a first down, 4th and 1.
Roseville Panthers come in second place in the MAC White, behind Grosse Pointe South. And what's their reward? A rematch with the Grosse Pointe South in the first round of the MHSAA playoffs.
Hey, welcome to what the Red Division deals with every year. Well, Eisenhower now up 44 to 7, so they're running clock over there at Swinehart. I think if you're Dakota, you want to do the same thing here. Oh, look at this. Big hole up the middle. As the Cougars have subbed a lot of bodies in.
Crosby, Xavier Crosby with the carry. The first real sustained drive for the Chieftains in this football game into the red zone. So all of a sudden they are knocking on the door. Have the ball 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line.
Pretty much wholesale changes right now for the Cougars on defense. Not one starter in the game. That's good. Get these guys some playing time. It's not the end of the world if you don't have a running clock. The biggest thing now as you get deeper in the playoffs is keeping your guys healthy, and that's going to be the most important thing here. So
Xavier Crosby going to remain in the game at the tailback position. Gwilly, the man in motion. Gwilly going to take the handoff on the jet sweep. Shoestring tackle attempt and just slowed him down enough.
Monty Gwilly on a carry. Tackle by number 44.
Give Lucas Harper the tackle there.
He comes in jet motion and basically comes back, and it's a counter the other way. Nice job there, just to trip him up enough. Raxter was also coming over helping out. 2nd and 9 for Utica. Starting to try to put some points up on the board for the first time tonight.
Going to go under center. It's Crosby again. No running lanes available for him on 2nd down.
Oh, 39 was the first one on the play. Giovanni Linville.
Brought down by number 39. Giovanni Linville.
We're going deep into the roster now.
Well, there's 80 of them on there, so the roster is deep, and now there's multiple numbers, so there's even deeper. And
well, yeah, I was just going to say
right.
17 checked into the game. It could be Williams or Gardner.
3rd and 9 here, and would definitely assume that if they not convert the first down here, this is 2-down territory for the Chieftains. And see if they can try to give Willie the ball on a jet sweep or maybe a dive here.
Out of the pistol formation, Crosby jukes and jives down to around the 9-yard line. Well, needs to get to the 5-yard line in order to pick up the first down.
With the help of number 39, Giovanni Linville.
Be a 4th. Well, looks like it's at maybe even past the 5-yard line. Looks where that stick is. It's hard to tell from over here because we're at a little weird of an angle, but maybe a 4th and 5 over there. 4.5, 5.
I was gonna say maybe a long 4.
Long 4, short 5. It's kind of playing one of those weird par 4s.
4.5s, par 4.5.
The 285-yard par 4s.
See if the Cougar defense can come up with a 4th down stop. Empty backfield. Spread offense look. Michael going to look to his right, going to throw up the fade. Jump ball falls incomplete. Peyton Bernardi out there in coverage. Well guarded on the outside.
Yeah, outstanding coverage there by Bernardi. He's going to look at the whole defense out there to pat him on the helmet as he comes over.
Get another look at it here.
Great job there. Just stays with him, is reading his eyes, and get up and making a play on the ball. That's outstanding defense. Outstanding defense. And now you're going to see the second group of the Cougar offense on the field now. Wholesale changes as Brock Ferguson takes over at quarterback.
5:20 left to go, 4th quarter of play. Ferguson in the shotgun. He'll turn and hand off. Braden Henson, the running back.
Brought down by number 18, Lucas Abro.
Lucas Abro from the linebacker position came in to make the stop. So with the win here tonight, Dakota will improve to 9-1, will advance to the 2nd round of the playoffs, and looking more and more likely that they will take on Eisenhower in the district final game. We can let our viewers know that we will have that game in its entirety here on our Chippewa Valley Cable Television, along with the NFHS website.
In this class, has obviously had some battles with Eisenhower, as this group has lost 2 straight to Eisenhower, so they're going to look to try to change their luck next week when the Eagles come in here. Again, that Week 9 loss to Clarkston gave Dakota the edge in the playoff points.
Gave them the home field advantage. Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
And if they're able to come out of that game, they're going to host a regional here. So,
mentioned Cass Tech and Sterling Heights, Stevenson, Dearborn Fordson, and Dearborn High, the other 4 teams within this region.
Cass Tech right now easily handling Stevenson 27-0.
I think it's safe to say the Technicians will advance to a district championship game. I'm going to go ahead and write them in on my bracket here.
Feeling pretty confident about that? Is that an erasable pen?
It is not.
No? Okay.
It's down now.
You're pretty confident that Stevenson's not going to make a comeback.
Fordson and Dearborn High, the other game.
Did you pen in Eisenhower yet? Because that's 44-7.
I did. I went ahead and penciled them in.
I haven't had it's very disappointing. Not a lot of other high school games have popped up here, because you got, last I saw it was 14-6, Grosse Pointe South over Roseville. I'm sure that game has changed considerably.
That's strength versus strength. Roseville is a high-octane offense that can put up video game-like numbers against a very stout defense. Punt is away. It's going to check up at the 45, take a little bit of a Cougar bounce, and roll all the way out to the 50-yard line. 3:18 left to go in regulation. Ball will be spotted right on the midfield stripe.
How about Granville now leading Rockford 17-7?
Wow.
That's a little bit of a shocker. Yeah, we did that Chippewa Valley De La Salle game last week. De La Salle goes to the MAC Blue champion Fort Huron Northern Huskies. It beats them 49-0.
Ouch.
Yeah, that stings a little bit, huh?
Another successful season for Utica, as we mentioned, first time in school history that they qualified for the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. 8th trip to the postseason all time, and they're going to have to maybe worry about them breaking this huddle and getting up to the line of scrimmage. It appears there is enough time to get this play off. So 8th trip to the postseason, and still going to remain winless as they will fall to 0-8 all-time in MHSA playoff games.
Oh, I finally found it. So, end of the 3rd quarter, the D Zone on Twitter has Grosse Pointe South leading Roseville 27-12 after 3. I wouldn't pen that in yet, Brad, because Roseville can score like 100 points in a minute and a half.
They're Division II. I don't have that bracket printed out.
There you go.
Not in front of me, at least.
5:06 to go. It's 24-14, Granville over Rockford. That would be a major upset to have the Rams on the west side of the state go down this early in the playoffs.
Rockford is actually the two seed in that district. Hudsonville is the #1 seed. Hudsonville, East Kentwood playing tonight as well.
Hudsonville up a couple touchdowns on East Kentwood.
How about Howell? Howell has the potential to have a crash course with Brighton in the 2nd round. That one would be a good game.
Beat Belleville Week 9.
Howell taking on Kalamazoo Central tonight. Looks a little bit of a trip for Kalamazoo Central.
Oxford leading Davidson 21-14 in the 4th quarter.
That is a energized Dakota sideline, and rightfully so. 31-0, 2:02 left to go in the 4th quarter of play. It's going to be a rematch with the Eisenhower Eagles next week, same time, same place.
Nice job by the defense here. Doing a good job of being stout not letting them have anything, playing hard. These guys play against these starters every day in practice, working their butts off, and they're showing what they do and what they can do, and you can see the depth this team has.
Noah Raxter along with Alex Mahalik.
For the Chieftains.
4th down, 2 to go here for Utica. Already mentioned Joe Chapo working our sideline camera. Dominic Vitale, Matthew Custer up top on some of our game cameras on top of the press box.
Got to give some props to our cameraman today. The wave of smoke being hit by the Wings truck has definitely made things a little trickier tonight, huh?
Jeff Amakuchi running our replays. Kim Adlam doing a terrific job as always on the graphics. And Jim Calderon, our main man, our director, calling the shots here tonight, making sure all the right buttons get pressed in the live truck. And skipping back to the sideline is a very happy Noah Raxter. He has come in and done a terrific job as kind of that first man off the bench defensively. He has had a really good second half of play. There's a nice look at the young man, Noah Raxter, junior defensive lineman.
He came in when Lynch went down, and he's played outstanding. And how about the defense getting 2 straight stops now? The 2s for Dakota on defense doing a great job getting the ball back to their offense here with 45 seconds to go. I think you're going to see, victory formation here and get out of here with a 31-0 win.
How about a 3rd straight defensive shutout by this Dakota D? You said it earlier this season, the D in Dakota stood for defense.
I did.
Rightfully so, as that points per game number is going to go down even more. It started off the night at 8.1. I think it's going to go down now to, I don't know, maybe 7.3 if my math is correct. So just
you said 3rd straight, right?
Yeah,
you had
3rd straight
week 8
shutout
against Utica. Week 9 they shut out Oxford, and now week 10 they're going to shut out Utica. And, I mean, you talk about getting some, sending a message, just getting some points. And this team, the last time they allowed a point was against Eisenhower, 21 of them. You don't think they're going to remember that, Brad?
Don't forget last season went the way of the Eisenhower Eagles as well. So the Dakota Cougars definitely want to get some revenge, and that one is going to be one heck of a district final game. Once again, it's going to be the Dakota Cougars and the Eisenhower Eagles next week here at Dakota High School, and we will have it right here on CBC TV. Jeff, our final score, the Dakota Cougars 31, the Utica Chieftains 0. Need to let our remind our viewers that the broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association, NFHS, and the Chippewa Valley Cable Television Team. No reproduction, retransmission, or other redistribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA, the NFHS, and the Chippewa Valley Cable Television Production.
Wow, it's easy for you to say, huh?
Yeah, I barely got it out, but we got it out. Once again, your final score here tonight from Dakota High School in the first round of the MHSAA playoffs. The Dakota Cougars over the Utica Chieftains by the final score of 31-0. For my broadcast partner, Jeff Vitale, for the rest of our CBC TV crew, I'm Brad Fetter saying good night. We'll see you next week for the district final game.